Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Slice, a podcast that's focused on elevating the world of Africans globally. And it is brought to you by Keble. My name is David, and I'm here with Jam is supposed to be here, but Jam is not going to be here for this episode. So today we have an amazing guest. His name is Oluwafemi Ademilua, and he's the co-founder and CEO of Twinku. He's not Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And I'm sure Femi, along the line, Femi will tell us why he chose that name. But so he has a background in finance and economics, and his company is doing something never done before in Nigeria. So what Twinkle does is that it helps to consolidate all your banking and fintech accounts that are domiciled in Nigeria, just as a way to provide a comprehensive snapshot of your net worth, amongst other things. So we are very glad today to have Femi on today's podcast, and welcome, Femi. Can the people hear a short intro from you?
All
So
right.
welcome, Femi.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much, David, for the intro. You've basically said everything, everything that needs to be said. Yes, my name is Femi Ademilua, and co-founder at Twinku. All right. Twinku empowers individual to have a snapshot view of their bank and fintech apps in one place. For the purpose of tracking, estate management, and budgeting, and some other benefits around personal finance.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Femi. And also thank you for being on today's pod. We know you're a busy man. It's not being a co-founder in 2024. It's not for the week, and I know you're jumping up and down, but thank you for making out time for us. So just to set the theme for today's episode, we'll be talking about your relationship with money. And the reason why this topic is so important is because our action stems from our money actions. Let me just say our action. Our money action stems from our relationship with money. For example, if you have a bad relationship with money, all the actions that you perform with money will most likely be bad. And so that's one of the reasons why we want to highlight it and really zoom in on, what is your relationship with money? And who else than the co-founder of a company that is so focused on ensuring that Nigerians have a comprehensive view of their financial life. So once again, I know I've said thank you, but once again, thank you so much, Femi, for joining us today. So I have a question for you, Femi.
Yeah.
And the question is, what is your definition of a good relationship with money?
I mean, that's a deep one. So
Yes.
in my own view, a good relationship with money, right? Is because of course we have to understand what money is for, right? To be able to define what a good relationship with money would look like. So for me, right, money is a medium of exchange. Is also used as store of value, right, and for precautionary purposes. So for me, a good relationship with money is a type of relationship where you are able to use it to create value, right? You are able to use it
value creation. Okay.
value creation. You're able to use it to impact both yourself, the people around you, and and the general world at large, right? Is a good relationship with money is one that doesn't put you under pressure because you've been able to set a structure around it, right? So there's no point in time where you are under pressure for anything. So that's pretty much my definition of having a good relationship with money.
I like how, and that's how you know people who are experienced. Like when you ask them a question, they give you pa. They just hit it right on the spot. So you mentioned very key things, and each of the way I believe conversations usually go is that, okay, somebody speaks about one thing and then you branch out from there. Because from what you've spoken about now, there's like different branching out those areas. For example, you spoke about structure. So, I want to highlight, originally that wasn't part of the agenda, but the thing about structure is that most Nigerians don't have a structure for their money.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can agree with me.
Definitely.
Things that, for example, you can plan that, oh, I'm going to buy 1 carton of Indomie this month. Then you get to the market and Indomie's, I don't know how much a carton of Indomie is now, maybe 20K or 50K.
Yeah.
Okay, me too, I'm here. So we know how these things are going. So my question to you is that how does structure look around money? Like how would you say should be a right to, of course, there's no universally right way.
Yeah.
But if we were to lay down a template, I think that's the word. If we were to lay down a template that, oh, someone with good money structure, how does that look like? So it doesn't have to be exactly, because there are people in this country earning dollars now. There are people earning variable. So how does that look like?
Okay, so what your money structure looks like is actually dependent on your what's it called, your personal life, your goals, right?
Mm,
And what aspect of your life do you want to kind of improve. So structure is typically just saying this is literally just dividing money into ratios and where they should go, channels that money should go. So you have your income, right? There are two different type of money.
mm,
There are two, what's it called, ways, right? Money is a two-way road. So there's income and there's expenses, right? So you
expenses,
get
yeah.
income from maybe your, if you're in a, paid employment, or you're an entrepreneur and you're making
Yeah.
profits, and then of course you spend those income on different things, an unlimited array of things you can spend money on. So that's where the structure comes in, right? The structure comes in on, at least majorly, on the expense side. How do you control where your money goes, right? So,
Mm,
like I said, there are limited array of things you can spend your money on. But putting a structure in place
fact.
is saying, I'm dividing my income into this ratio. So some do it, like I said, it's highly personalized. So some
Yeah.
do 40% goes to my expenditure, things I need, my
Okay.
recurring expenditure. 20% goes to savings and investment, and that 40% goes to whatever it is that they want to they want it to go to. You get the gist. So it's just dividing,
Yes.
your income into some form of structured channels. So irrespective of how much you earn, that structure remains the same. So if your income
Mm,
increases, it might not necessarily change. You've already said, so if you are earning 500,000 today and tomorrow your income increases
okay.
to 1 million, that structure is still the same, right? You still want to give 20% of it to savings and investment.
Yes.
You are still you can decide to increase the ratio you're giving to different part of it. So you can
Yeah.
say, oh yeah,
Depending on
spend
what's
more
going on in your life at that time. Okay.
increasing savings and investments to 30% of my income. I just
Okay.
want my recurring expenditure um to be around 30% of my income. Then I want the rest to be savings towards a capital project or maybe a business you want to start. So structure is saying,
Okay.
it's just putting ratios to the channels that your money should go to, right? There can be structure
Mm,
on the income side, but then that would be for people that have a lot of that would be for majorly established business people or entrepreneurs, and that can diversify their income stream, right? From just maybe profit of salaries, right? Even on the expense side, already allocating a portion of your income to saving and investment is already kind of like creating a diversified income stream for you. So yeah, that's what structure really is.
structure is mostly about allocation.
Allocation.
So will you
Yeah,
say that?
that's the word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So structure, putting structure to your money is. Thank you for sharing, Femi. So, what about your own personal? So, we would like to, the people, me and all of us, the people. Don't worry, there are plenty. So, me and the people, the tribals and the rest, we would like to hear about what your story has been, what your growth has been, like the trajectory over time in regards to your relationship with money. Of course, I know the Mr. Femi that we are seeing now is not the Mr. Femi of 10, 15 years ago. Your relationship, I don't know if you've always been perfect with money. There's some people that they train them to be perfect with money since they were small. Maybe you're one of those people. So, but in some ways, there's still been like a kind of a journey with money. So we would like to hear that story, if, of course, if you want to share it with us, but the people who want to hear.
All right, great. So the thing is this, being a professional wealth manager or an accountant doesn't immediately 100% guarantee that the person has a good relationship with money. A lot of financial advisors don't themselves have good relationship with money, but then they manage.
They don't advise themselves. They are advising other people.
They
They
manage
don't
money for
advise
other people,
themselves.
but then that management is lacking in all personal finance. Accountants too. You see that the
Was
management.
it something that you saw being very common, or was it just one or two people? Was it common?
What?
Like seeing people who, for example, fund advisors, money advisors, all that, and them being like careless with money. Is it something you saw like that was common, or was just once in a while?
Yeah, according to most pieces I've read, I've seen online, it seems like it's a widespread struggle across the profession.
Widespread, yes.
So
Okay.
they
Please go on.
talk about how personal money management has not really been easy, right? So
Yes.
I think it's according to what I've seen, I've read, and
Okay.
right, I think it's kind of like a common
Widespread,
thing, a
yes.
widespread thing among.
Yeah.
So for my own, right, for my own journey with money, right, definitely it has been what's it called? I'm still going through the process even till now, right? Because
Yeah.
there's no final destination with it. You have to keep growing as you expand your horizon. Then you adapt new templates and stuff, right? For me, when I started my professional career, I was very keen on investing and saving, but more on investing because I already know the angle of like investing in the stock market, right? So
Yes.
when I started my professional career, I was allocating a portion of my income to investing in the US stock market, right? So
What year was this?
That was 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
2019. There were
The
not so
likes
many
of Bamboo are
options
already
then.
around at the time.
Yeah, they were not around. That's why I had to ask.
Bamboo was already around 2020. Yeah, 2020. Early
Okay. 2020. Okay, yes.
Yes,
Please
Bamboo
go
was
on.
already around. So I was what's it called? Focused on investing a portion of my money and what's it called? In the stock exchange, and also saving a portion of it. You know, for other things, my expenses, I had a portion allocated to my expenses, right? And I had a portion allocated to savings and investing in stock markets. And then also at the time, I allocated a portion to investing in crypto.
I like how you just started laughing before I started laughing because we know that
Everybody was there at a point.
everybody was there.
That was a phase for me.
Oh yeah.
That was a phase, but kind of like I've exited that phase now. So, but currently, right, as an entrepreneur, I still save, right, and I still invest. But then, I think I save. My risk appetite is kind of higher, so I deploy my money to real life projects that I'm working on, right. So it has kind of changed my allocation strategy to just invest, to take more risk, right? To riskier projects, right? Less than saving. And you know that currently, with the inflationary environment that we have, saving is kind of like, well, I won't describe
You're
it
burning your
as
money.
saving. Yeah, but saving is in an inflationary environment, saving is not really that it's not really that much of a good strategy if the economic environment is going through this kind of inflation that Nigeria is going through. So just trying to get an asset that you can invest in that would give you some form of return that can beat, I don't know what return
beats the inflation rate.
It has to still kind of try to deploy your capital to where the allocation of capital has to be go through asset that can still try as much as possible to combat the inflation rates. So for me, saving has kind of deals, and if you save at all, I don't want to mention in what currency you should save in, but then
currency, yeah.
the naira is going through a phase. We hope that the right things are done
We
to
come out of it.
to stabilize it. But
Yeah.
we can't deny the reality as it is currently. So
Yes, very true.
this
Very true.
the macroeconomic environment can also can make you adapt to a new personal finance or allocation.
Yeah, to a new structure.
To a new structure, and that's
to a
what
new structure.
that's what I have done.
Mm.
So it's a lot different from when I started my professional career.
When you started,
A
yes.
whole lot different.
So will you say you were more focused on so okay, I'm taking the journey from when you started earning serious money, because I don't, the way you sounded like you didn't even count all those school days. Other one is hustle days. So I'm guessing that it's just from when you started earning money. So will you say that from then till now? So from what you said, what I'm getting is that you've been focused on, all the while you've been focused on increasing your net worth, in the sense of, oh, how can I grow the amount of resources that I have available by investing and by doing that, until you got to your entrepreneur phase, which we're going to get into shortly, because that's a whole discussion. So until you got there, where you now where the subject of risk now came in and took center stage, would you say that that's how the journey has been?
So that, I don't know. Maybe you can come again so that I can understand it properly, so that I don't
Okay,
get
okay,
into the wrong context.
okay. What I was trying to say, is that I was just trying to like recap, like to recap what you were saying, just for the purpose of audience and everything. So I was saying that, oh, when you started working, that majorly you were focused on increasing your wealth. And
Yeah.
now the focus is more of, okay, how can I increase my business wealth? And then in there, you also talked about risk. And I said that later on, we're going to also get into that. So do you understand where I'm coming from now?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
So the thing is, the destination is still, the goal is still the same, is to increase your wealth, right? The goal is still the same, to increase your net worth, right? But the methodology or the strategy is what is now kind of
The channel.
or evolve over time, right? I've kind of understood that most of the, not even most, majority, the top richest men, there's something that they have in common, right? If you want to get on Forbes list, there's something that they have in common. What they have in common
What's that?
is,
Please tell us.
what they have in common is equity.
Equity.
Yeah. So they have,
what is equity for the average person listening to this pod who, that sounds like a big word. Maybe somebody in, I don't know, chemistry. Some
equity
place that
is
they don't know equity.
okay, equity, most of them are public companies, so they own stocks in that company. Right. So, having equity is having, what's it called, a portion of a business, right?
So like ownership.
Ownership. That's what is common among the wealthiest men in the world.
Among them.
So my strategy before, as like I said, when I started my professional career, was to invest in the stock market. That's still getting the equity of those companies I'm investing in, right? It's just a portion of it. Even though we're buying stock worth 10,000, $20, $10 at that time, right?
$10.
So it's still kind of like getting ownership, but those companies are already matured, right? And they can still give you good returns. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's a very good strategy.
But there's a cap.
Right? You can still get good return on buying stocks from of public companies, right? But then the best return is if you can take more risk, right? You are able to maybe get equity in a private company or start one yourself, right? Or invest in projects that you truly believe in, that is just starting afresh. So that's another way of getting equity or getting ownership of a business, right? And that offers a great return. There's a general law in finance, which is the higher the risk, the higher the reward. That risk reward graph. So if you are what's it called, not a risk, if you are a risk averse person, then you can go for a safer means of getting equity or ownership, which is investing in the stock market, and there are a lot of
Stock
stock
market.
that are generally safe, right, and less volatile.
Yes.
And investing to number one, what's it called? Keep your wealth and just gradually grow it. But if you can take a lot of risk on, the best type of ownership to get is in a form of private equity, which is investing in private companies or going on the
Private
journey yourself.
companies. Yes.
That's what has changed in my methodology. I was trying to buy stock of public companies, but that has kind of I've deprioritized that to kind of just invest.
Yes, to what you are doing now. So the focus has majorly been equity.
Yeah.
How
So
can Mr. Femi get more
ah,
equity to push me to the billionaire
well,
status? Mm,
mm,
mm. So I have,
that
so I have a question about you moving from the traditional, because you had a traditional job. You spoke about that too,
yeah.
and you used to save and invest with that, to moving to being an entrepreneur. And and I wanted for you to just talk about how your relationship with money changed in that transition. Yes, that's the word. In that transition, because when you go from a 9 to 5 to entrepreneur, I mean, you are already there. You know how it is.
Yeah.
There are some months that are wow. There are some months that are Oluwa Shanua. You understand?
Yeah.
So how was that for you in that transition phase? Because you have already accepted it now that this is what you are. You
hmm
are an entrepreneur. But how was it for you in that transition phase?
So it was a whole new experience altogether, like a whole new experience in the sense that when I was in my 9 to 5,
Mm-hmm.
the only money I had a relationship with was my salary, and
Mm,
that personal investment, like that was doing my money in the sense of it, right? That was the only money I had a relationship with. But transitioning from that to being an entrepreneur, now you now have a relationship with your money, then you have a relationship with your business money, which is not your money. So
it's
your
not money.
business money is the
Very
money
very
you
key thing you mentioned. Your money is not your business money.
is not.
Your money is not your business, not your business. Someone needs to hear this because you're about to go and touch accounts, Kini now. Your money is not your business
Yeah,
money.
it's not
Thank
your
you.
business
A
money.
word is enough for the wise.
Yes, now as an entrepreneur, you have a fiduciary duty to turn your business money, to deploy your
Fiduciary.
business money.
Femi, can you break down that grammar?
Eh?
I try as much as possible to make sure that every complex word is
Okay,
broken down for people who are like beginners. So what is fiduciary duty? Just
that's
a short
basically
definition.
a
Obligation.
responsibility.
Okay, thank
Yes,
you.
you have a
Responsibility. Okay,
responsibility
please go on. Please go on.
to your, if you have investors, right, or people that have invested in your business, to turn that money to create value that brings in
Mm,
more money, right? So you have a responsibility to grow your business money, to keep growing it till eternity, right?
mm,
So
yes.
now, yeah, I transitioned from having a relationship with just my money, then to
Salary.
having a relationship with my business money and my personal money. It's like you are double dating and you have to give both of them attention.
Double dating.
Why? Okay, so
I'm
but
smiling because your name is Femi, so
no, 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 no,
it's
no.
not far. It's not
so
far. This God.
so you have to give both of them attention, right? Because like I
Yes.
said, you have a responsibility to deploy your business money in such a way that it can create value and it can attract higher return, right? And then your
Mm,
own money, you have a responsibility to yourself for your own money,
yes.
right? You have more power over your own money, right? More decision making
Yes.
and control over your own money,
Yeah.
and also you have that responsibility to yourself to make sure kind of increase it so that it can generate wealth for
Yes.
you and ultimately gain financial freedom, right? So my relationship, going from personal to now like not double dating in like in the sense,
Mm,
like no, now having relationship with my personal money and business money. So it's actually a whole new different experience, right? You on your business money, depending on the number of partners you have, you don't have sole control over it, right? You have to for your business money, it's as if you have a joint account with your wife, and you have to, for every decision that involves you spending that money, you have to be accountable. You have to rate. You have to, be accountable actually, and deliberate over how every penny of it is spent. And after it has been spent, you have to be accountable to how it was spent, and all that, right? So I was able to, fit in well into coming into that experience afresh, right?
Okay.
Yeah, but I was able to navigate it properly, right? And of course, that's why we are still here.
That's very keen. So the interesting part is that, Femi is such a wise man, and it's like he knew the question I was going to ask. It's like he knew the question I was going to ask later, like after this. So he already started answering it, which is funny because it's not even in the agenda. So you mentioned one thing, and that's a very key thing. I was even writing it down. It's number one, be accountable.
Yeah.
So you have already started answering. So number one, be accountable. Number two, don't double date. Don't double date. Don't double date. So if you can add any jara on top, the people who manage it will take it like that. So you already answered. So anyone you want to
So
drop, yeah, okay.
what I said in the concept of double dating is that, as an entrepreneur, right, you have your personal money, then you have your business money, which is an entirely different kind of money. That's where the concept of double dating money, came from, right? As an entrepreneur, you don't have a choice. You have to double date money because there's your personal money and there's your business money that are separate, right? So, of course, but as an entrepreneur, most like definitely, you have to be able to, money habits that you have to have is you have to be able to kind of like be able to budget,
Budget.
run a budget, right? And that habit you should cultivate, in my personal opinion, is actually living within or below your means, right? As an entrepreneur, well, not just an entrepreneur, but everybody else, even though you're a 9 to 5 person, everybody should kind of
But Femi, what about sales forecast now? If I'm forecasting that my business will blow 10x, why can't I blow my money small 6x? Because with normal
well,
salary, your salary is your salary. Your 400K is what you collect. Come rain, come shine. But with a business, you can look and say, the way this thing is going, I can make 2x. Let me just
Mhm.
spend ahead. So why shouldn't I spend ahead?
There's something, that what's it called, is also common in finance or amongst like financial finance professionals, is that cash flow. Even recently in the private equity world, cash flow is king. Cash flow is the cash at
Cash
hand,
flow
like
is
the
king.
cash coming in
Mm,
and going out. So
mm,
it's the cash at hand. You have to have that cash at hand before you believe. Things
mm.
can change. We are in a volatile environment. So
Very
that projection
volatile.
that you are making, most projections, can you imagine people projecting at the beginning of the year? January, you've done your projection. Nothing can go wrong,
That's
right?
true.
And here we are.
Yes,
Everything
you've
has
done
gone
customer
wrong.
service too. I know that.
Everything has gone wrong. So if you spent,
Yeah,
recklessly because your projection was giving you,
because of
good
projection.
good energy, good vibes, right, on the Excel sheet, you're like, if
Good
you spent
vibes.
ahead, now you'll be in for it. So
Yeah.
the money has to be at
Mm,
hand before you, if you at all have to now, blast it, but you have to make sure that the money is sitting
yes.
in your account before you do that.
Mm.
Though don't spend in anticipation. I don't think
Don't
it's a
spend
good
in
idea
projection.
to
Okay,
run with it. Like you said, the projection might come in, might not. But then
my notes.
I won't
It's
I
better
won't
for
say
you to
it's
be
a
on the
good
safe
it's a
side.
good I won't say it's a good strategy to spend in anticipation of, yeah, like expecting
Mm.
expecting
Th-
money and spending in anticipation is not.
Thank you so much for that breakdown, Femi.
Yeah.
So
You
I have one. I want us to dive into what's the amazing work that you're doing at Twinku. First of all, you have to tell us why that name, because even me, the first time I heard Twinkle, my mind is like Twinkle, Twinkle. So you have to tell us first why that name. and also like really break down the mission. Because the thing about companies like yours, that is companies doing amazing things, and I believe is that it is driven by a mission. It's not just, oh, we want to make money. There's a mission. So can you really like break that down for us so the people know?
Okay, so I'm going to start with the name, right? Like you said, it's quite a unique name, right? That
Yes.
most majority of people won't like be expecting to hear at the start of level. So what the story behind the name is actually when we started out as a majorly estate planning solution, right? The
Mm.
story behind our journey was that there are a lot of what's it called? Nigeria don't take estate management or planning serious. Estate planning is consists of planning, writing a will, or having a
Yes,
trust,
yes, yes.
right? So this habit has led you know um because young people in Nigeria do not have any form of estate planning. There are a lot of dead people that their family members do not know that they have accounts with several financial institutions, and those monies are just sitting with the institution doing nothing. At the time when we started out, there was more than 800 billion in dormant accounts across the Nigerian banking system at the
Wow.
time, and central government
Wow.
was already passing a bill to borrow money from those accounts. Right. So the name actually came from, since we were, planning to allow people to make estate planning seamless for young Nigerians. So the thing behind the name this was that at the time, for people that have passed on, right, and their loved ones are stranded because they do not know to what extent they have access to. What we wanted to do was to be the little shiny star in the
Mm.
dark
The
cloud
little
for
shiny
yeah so
star.
so
Mm.
so plan that little shiny star ahead, that can appear in the dark cloud if anything happens to you yourself, right? So
Mm.
if you are leaving a legacy behind, right? So but then over the time we still do that. We still have provisions for people that want to do estate planning. In fact, we've upgraded our estate planning service to now include e-will. But then we've gone
Awesome.
more heavily on personal finance management, right? Personal finance is a
Mm.
big deal for young Nigerians, like we've been talking about here. Relationship,
Yes.
money, budgeting, allocation. How do you do all that, right? And now it's more important than ever in the kind of macroeconomic environment we find ourselves as Nigerians, right? So what Twinkle has, our mission, what it looks like today is that we want to build the most helpful personal finance tool for individuals, for Nigerians, right? To be money conscious,
That's a big mission.
to be money conscious, and
That's a big goal.
to manage their personal finance better. Most people do not really know, and a
Yeah.
lot of people outside, finance, accounting, and economics, that field, do not really know much about finance or about money management, right? What they know is
Very
debit and
true.
credit, bank accounts. Bank
Mm.
is the only
Income and
financial
expense.
institution that exists to them, and some fintechs that they
Yes.
use. But then the financial world is so wide, right? There are a lot of other options
Mm.
that you can use, and tools that you can use to grow your wealth, that you can use to manage your spending. And that's what we want to bring to the consciousness of Nigerians, and a way to even manage the one that they have. Apart from growing your wealth, how do you manage the one that you already have to optimize it, right? How do you plan for the money you have today to optimize it for your future, right? How do you plan your spending? How do you plan, creating a budget around your income so that you have something to save, and not just using discretionary spending to finish some people don't know when their money has finished in their bank accounts,
Has
right?
finished.
Because they just anything, debit or credit, savings or current
Yes.
savings.
Until one day that you do not say that.
So there's no that form of planning. We want to imbibe it into the routine of a typical Nigerian, right? In such a way that everybody kind of now starts improving their relationship with money, using Twinkle as a tool and as a platform, right? To manage their personal finance and financial life in general. So that's what our mission
Hmm.
looks like today.
That is a very massive mission, and that's why we're not calling it goal. There's goal, there's mission. You understand? That's why they have. It's not goal impossible; it's mission impossible because normally you're not supposed. Normally it wouldn't have happened. So and what you are doing is so key because even in my work, because I'm also the community lead for Keble. We have a community where we just talk about personal finance and like help people, enlighten them and all that. A lot of times, what I've seen over the years, because I've been doing it for years now, what I've seen over the years is that people are largely unaware of their spending habits. They are largely unaware of what they have. So having a single plan, and this is something that even me, I struggled with until I had to find like a bootleg solution. I have a bootleg solution for this already. Like, it's like joining different apps and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
Twinkle being a platform where you can, I said consolidation in the beginning because consolidate means to bring everything together.
Yeah.
For example, if you have 10K in your GT, 10K in your Access, 5K in your Zenith, consolidate means that on a single spreadsheet, you can see everything. But Twinkle is not just a spreadsheet, it's a whole platform with an amazing UI. I checked out, I don't know if you guys did a new website or something. I checked out the website recently. Amazing design work. I love beautifully designed products. That's just my own bias. So
Same here.
it's a really big mission, and I'm really happy because this personal finance thing, if we cannot conquer it as a nation, it will affect the generations to come. I was looking at the stats the other day. I can't remember the exact figures now. I could Google it, but it was something along the lines of in China, about 30 to 40% of what they make, they save it. Like saving is part of their culture. It is their culture. In America, they don't have that much of a savings culture, but their earning is crazy. You understand? Like the average
Yeah.
salary can be like $50,000, which is a top in the whole world. So even though they are not saving as much, they are still making the money. The money is still coming. Nigerians are not saving. Nigerians are not making the money. They are just spending. The small money that you are making is reducing by this. So you have to really sit down and like plan and have a complete overview. And that's what Twinkle is offering to do. And I'm also excited because in this mission that you have, there's a lot of potential for other areas to come up. So it's really a mission. So
Yeah.
that's awesome work you're doing, Femi. Awesome work you're doing,
Thank
Femi.
you. Thank you, David.
Yeah, so you're welcome. You're very welcome. So, in your own experience, have you had any success stories? People using Twinkle who have like reached out, or people in your personal might not even be users, maybe your family members or like friends who have used Twinkle and have said, "Oh, Twinkle did this, Twinkle did that." Any success stories you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, definitely. Of course, people of have started using Twinkle, of course, and a particular success story that feel like, okay, this is actually impactful and has kept us going. People that have shared story with us about how the what's it called, what prompted them to get on Twinkle is the fact that they've had these experiences firsthand. They've known a family member who lost somebody so close, and the estate management aspect of it, that is, they do not know, the person does not have a will, did not have a will, and they couldn't really locate to what extent he has assets, right? So we've had people that have said, oh, this is, they've been looking for something like this.
Mm.
They even say, they download it for their parents, because someone in fact shared that the current way he's solving for this is, anytime he's traveling, he writes down his accounts and financial assets,
Yes.
and send it to a friend, just in case, especially if he's traveling by here.
Yeah. So it's just traveling.
So
Very,
yeah, just so
very. We don't pray for
we don't
accidents or
pray for it.
anything, but
That's the way,
yes.
right? And another
And
person
I think
just
the major bias Nigerians will have for when you mention will. Like,
yeah,
no, me, I will not die, you.
of
Me, I
course,
will not.
that's it, that's it. And we have people,
Yeah.
someone that said that he has had to take his dad to the bank to collect ATM card on
Mm.
his bank, on all his accounts, right? Just in case, right? Personally, of course, as you would expect, I
Yeah.
use Twinkle for to track my accounts because as a product manager myself, I try out a lot of products, a lot of fintech. If a new
Mm,
fintech app drops today, I'll
yeah.
be on it.
I feel you. I feel you. Every new app
I'll
that
be
comes
there.
out, I have it on my phone.
I'll be
I'll
there
be there.
no matter what.
I'll be there.
And so
Yeah.
some of these accounts I actually kind of funded them, right? So it gets what's it called, to a certain level where you lose track of
Very
where your
true.
monies are scattered,
Very true.
and stuff. So I've kind of used Twinkle as a tool to consolidate most of these fintech app and bank accounts that I have. I think I have a large chunk of commercial bank accounts. A large chunk of them. I have more than 5 bank accounts.
Eh? More than 5.
I have
You should reach
it's
out.
more than
Maybe you should
5
text
different banks.
Dr. Yemi
Not just
Cardoso.
accounts.
You can be deputy CBN. I endorse you.
Not just accounts. Like more than 5 different banks. Because with a single bank, I think
Wow.
with GT alone, I have up to 4 accounts with GT alone. That is possible because
Are you selling accounts? Are you selling it?
no, I'm not. I'm not.
Maybe that one is side business. Okay.
That's technically impossible.
Okay, true,
But
true,
then,
true.
yeah. So you can imagine, right?
Yes,
It's not as
having
if I
to
have. It's not like I
see
have
everything.
me anyways, please.
Yeah,
But then, there are some pennies scattered here and there that I now
yeah.
have a eagle
Full
eyesight
overview.
on, like, yeah, over where everything is. Right? It comes a time where you need to pull all your resources together to chase something, and you have to. It has really helped in that regard, right? And most of the people that use Simple as well has connected more than 2 accounts, 1 to 2 accounts active. So that
Two
must have
accounts, yeah.
provided them. So I imagine that those are the accounts where they feel have more, value. So I can imagine that they've what's it called? They are now able to see an overview as to what they have and allow them to plan effectively.
So thank you so much for sharing the success stories. So two things. I'll mention one and two. So for people who don't know, and a lot of Nigerians don't know this because maybe someone with high net worth has not passed on around you. Anyways, I have a friend whose grandmother was rich. Like, there's rich, then there's rich.
Mm-hmm.
So real estate rich. So when she passed, she didn't do will and all that. Normal, I believe in God, God will protect me,
Yeah.
all that stuff. She didn't do will and all that. As I speak right now, the family, because the thing Nigerians don't know is that if there's no will, you cannot go to the bank and collect their money. The bank will
No.
literally hold the money. So as I'm speaking now, they have close to 150 to 200 million sitting down in the bank. They cannot do anything about it. They cannot. And they said the process to do the whole legal is a whole
Prove
lot of
it.
money, is a lot of
Yeah.
time.
So if they
So
have
I'm
to do,
just saying that because people don't know. So they
yeah,
might not even understand why all this will talk. If you don't write will, the government has all license to seize that money. And the money is just chilling in the bank. And they're using your money to water flowers at GTB and the rest. Anyway, so the second thing I also want to mention that Twinku has an app. I don't know if Femi mentioned it, but Twinku has an app. So there's app on the Google, there's app on the Apple App Store. So check that. These days we are usually app first. So I need to mention that because people need to hear that there's an app. So
yeah,
I was going to be rounding up, but before we round up, I just wanted to also introduce our partnership with Twinkle. Yes, there's no drum roll on this thing. So hopefully when we start doing live sessions, when we have
you have to
crowds,
make a
hopefully
feature
one day
request
when we
for
start
drum
having
roll.
like, yeah, they have to make feature requests. Let's do feature requests. So we'll be partnering with Twinkle, and the idea for the partnership is just as Femi was saying. Femi was talking about how you need to get an overview of your financial life, your financial net worth, everything you have for different reasons, just like Fem was explaining. And Keble, what we do at Keble is that we empower you to grow your wealth through offering real estate opportunities in their broad market. So US, UK, etc., etc. And the reason why why we're partnering with Twinkle is that we want to be able to be viewed as part of your financial net worth. Let it not just be like, oh, Keble is staying outside in the Keble is one side of my finance. No, we're part of your financial net worth. Your Keble balance is part of your financial, your current returns is part of your financial net worth. And Twinkle is let's say Twinkle is the Vision Pro of your financial life. You can see everything in 4K. You can see everything. Funny enough, I'm not an Apple fan, but for the purpose of this podcast, so can see everything in 4K. So, Femi, do you want to say one or two things about the partnership? So, we can just move on from here.
Right, so like you said, it's the partnership is a good one. We are so excited about the prospects for our users and also for the Kebu users who can now sync, their Kebu account alongside their other financial accounts that they already have on Twinkle. Right, so it's a good partnership, and then this syncing of Kebu account is just the beginning of the partnership. We will do much more to empower you guys.
If it was here now, we'll be shaking like this. So this is our presidential shake.
So we'll do much more over the course of time to empower you more.
Okay. Thank you so much, Femi. We are happy to be partnering with Twinkle. Femi is doing an amazing. Personally, I'm invested. Personally, as a corporate body, we are invested. So it's more, like you said, more things to come. Also, another drum roll. Just do your drum on your head. So when you sync your Keble account to your Twinkle account, you also get a $30. So start syncing today. And of course, it's one Keble account. Everybody, one Keble account. So carry your one Keble account, sync it to Twinkle, and you are eligible for this $30 boost to your Keble portfolio.
Yeah. So let me expand on that. So
okay, awesome, Femi.
So for Keble users, we want to incentivize two Keble users will be winning this $30 each. So when you sync your Keble, I think we'll make that announcement as to the Keble users that have won this money, right? This boost to their portfolio. So we'll make the announcement at the time that will be announced, on our social media, right? So, but then, you stand a chance to win $30 boost to your Keble portfolio when you sync your account to Twinkle.
30 times 1,600 is 48,000 naira. So two people have this is my calculator. So two people have the chance to win 48,000 naira. I know the currency right now is not the best, but 48,000 naira can still do a lot.
Yeah.
It can even buy you premium amala. If you want to just blow the money, go and buy premium amala. So thank you so much for clarifying, Femi. And once again, thank you so much for your time. You've been very thorough. You have given us snapshots. That's basically what snapshots. I literally have things written down here. We need to make the highlight. What's the word? Highlight posts from what you said. Femi, you should write a book. Oh, this is just me. This is just me saying. You should write a book.
Probably.
You should write a book. Well, when you want to write a book, I'm booking it now, you understand? Because I give the idea, you will not charge me for the book because I give idea. So please hurry up. I want to read your book so that I can give us more snapshots.
Noted.
Once again, thank you so much, Mr. Fermi of Twinkle, the CEO, co-founder. I like to call co-founders the plumber in charge. Anytime I call them plumber in charge because their work is very greasy. So yeah, the plumber in charge. So the plumber in charge of Twinkle. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for being thorough. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Thank you so much for being mission driven, because a lot of Nigerians are just lackadaisical, which is not really a bad thing, but that means we need to give more props and more flowers to the people who do more. So these are your flowers, Femi. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me, David. And by the way, I'm part of the Keble community, so I I've been seeing the work you are doing. I great with that. Thank you very much.
Wait, is it on WhatsApp or Telegram?
WhatsApp.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I've been there since last year, like since way back.
That means voice chat this evening.
All right.
I will give mic especially to you. Thank you very much, sir.
All right.
I will give mic and say hello, everybody. Femi is in our midst. This evening, 7 p.m.
Right.
Thank you so much. And like I said, like we all this work we are doing it together just to elevate Nigerians. There's 200 million people.
Yeah.
Not one person can do everything. So this work we are doing it together. Everybody must understand money better. Even if you want to be careless with money, just understand it, because there's a difference in someone who's. I think we have already gone past time for podcast, but let's just continue. So the difference between people who are careless and people who don't understand. The people who are careless, later on they can correct themselves. But the people who they don't understand, there's nothing you want to do. They will continue to be careless. So this mission is a community effort, and that's what we're doing. So thank you so much. Thanks also to the people who tuned into this podcast. We have our former episodes. This is episode 3. This new year, we are giving you hot. So we are dropping it like it's hot. Understand? Even though we know the weather is hot, everything hot. So thank you so much for joining in. Join the tribe. We have our personal finance community. Like Fermi is a part. If Fermi is a part of it and you're not a part of it, then you're missing out. That's where big boys are. You understand? That's where big boys are. So join the tribe. Also check us out on social media channels at Keble HQ. Thank you, everyone, and see you in the next podcast episode. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks.